Okay, guys, if we can start taking our seats, we're going to get started here tonight. If you guys are having some good conversations, we just ask that you take those to the hallway so we don't bugger people around you, but we do want to get started. It is 7:10, and I'm late, so I'm sorry for all the people that have been waiting. We just need a blowhorn. Hey, guys, can we get your attention, please? Cool, we need to quiet it up here a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna mix up my layout a little bit. I've kind of watched some videos and I've realized I do the exact same layout every time, so I don't want to be boring. So I'm just gonna change up the order that we go in. And I'm gonna start off by giving a big thank you to Kelly and Jenny from Holiday Inn. Can you guys give them a round of applause back there? They take care a lot, good care of us. Okay, so I want to address parking because it seems like it's an issue tonight. If you park directly behind this lot, the parking code is REIAG, G for guest. It is free parking. If that parking lot is full, there's a Fairfield directly behind it. You guys can park in there, but it is a paid parking area. But you can park in that area. Everything else, they do tow. There is street parking on the street and down the road here. We can't speak for the Key Whip parking if they do tow or not. We don't know either way. It's at your own risk. So just a heads up on that. But we take care of the parking back here, and it is free. So scan the QR code and ask the girls in the back that checked you in if you have any questions. Also, if you guys are staying tonight, BRRRR Theory is a restaurant that's directly attached to here. Your tabs do transfer over there. If you do order some food, just give them the table number, and they'll bring the food right to you. If you show them that you're a RIA member, if you just joined tonight, you have a receipt, show them that. By the way, show them your RIA card, and that gives you 25% off your meal tonight. So take advantage of that. It's your first discount that you can get starting today. Also, if you guys have too much fun tonight, there is $99 rooms available. I also have 3 Airbnbs available too, right down the street, so just let me know that too. I'll give you a deal. So upcoming events, there's a ton of events. We have a resource table. I did not put any of these events, I don't think, on your tables, but there's a whole table of stuff there, and I booked a whole bunch for you guys. Some of this you do need to be members, and some of you don't. So, but you can watch it all for free online, no matter what. But obviously, we know about Jose Peña's event tonight. We'll cover that more in detail. We have an event coming tomorrow night, and this is a webinar. So you can you can go to the link, and with the link, you can be part of it. Otherwise, we will live stream this to our Facebook page. But there was a gentleman that I met, and he came to me, and he's like, "Hey, I want to pay you $100 to go in your Airbnb." And for each Airbnb, he was gonna pay me $100 to go in it and spend 3 hours in there. And it wasn't a brothel, so don't worry about that. And but he's like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna take pictures of everything. I'm gonna do this for Amazon, and I'm an influencer. And so I really was intrigued by this. So he has a company called Prime Commission Club, and he does this multiple times a day, and he pays you to come into your place. Well, he got so busy with that, it got out of control. Well, this kid's 27 years old. He still has another job, but at this point right now, and his name's James Schneider. He's been here before. James is making $12,000 a month in a year and a half doing this. So he takes a video, he posts the review. If somebody watches 30 seconds of it and buys that product, he gets commission like a salesman. And that stays up for life. So he's killing it right now. It's like, hey, I think this is something people would be interested in. He created a training for it. I personally did it myself, the training, and I paid for it myself, and I thought it was kind of interesting as a little side gig, especially as the real estate market goes up and down, and we don't ever know where we're going. But if you're interested in it, it's a free webinar, and it'll be on the RIA page, and the links are, there's an event tab on our page, or go to omaharia.com. It's got all the information, but these flyers are up there. We have another webinar for our event sponsor tonight, which we'll get into, but RE Simply. We're going to get more details about that, but we are doing a webinar on that one, and that one's on Monday, the 20th at 3 p.m. Also, upcoming events that we have is we have JB and Brad Bader. It's Timber Creek Virtual, and it's called Virtual Mastery, Insights from Brad Bader and JB Holden on Elevating Your Investment Game. I use their VA services for if you've bought a membership online here, everything you do on the back end here, every one of these graphics that you see, The editing for the RIA Radio podcast is all getting done through this company. There's lots of ways that virtual assistants can benefit you and your business. And so that's what the discussion is to be. Brad's here somewhere. Where are you at, Brad? Raise your hand so we know where you're at. There's so many people in this room, I can't tell. Yeah, Brad Bader's not in the room. Okay, so he's out drinking somewhere. But Brad's here somewhere, and you guys have some questions if you have more questions on this. Hey, I see you guys piling up in the corners. We can get more chairs. Just so you know, every table can fit 8 people on it. So if you got spots open at your table, raise your hand and let somebody come sit with you, because we got their spots. And there's some open chairs up here too. We got 3 chairs. So take advantage of that. July 2nd, Ben Catt is going to be speaking. Ben Catt is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of real estate investors. He does everything. He's of all the 120 some podcasts, I picked Ben Catt as my favorite one just because I'm so intrigued by how he does so many different types of investing. But diversifying horizons, Ben Catt's multi-asset class investment. And it's for sure going to be Ben, but it also might be his dad, Peter, and then his brother also that are going to be speaking. It'd be interesting topic. If you don't know anything about Ben Catt, do a search. I think he's like episode 80 something on our podcast, 81 maybe, and check him out. You'll be definitely intrigued. Marty McGuire, do you want to talk about this real quick? So Marty and myself put together this charity golf outing. We do it with a partnership with Omaha Real Estate Meetup, but Marty and myself do the blunt work on this and put it together. But it all goes for Omaha Home for Boys. But I'll let Marty talk about it and what we're really needing right now.
Well, you just talked about it, Ted. Hi, all. So yeah, it's our 3rd or 4th year we've done this. 4th year. Wow, time flies. But yeah, we put on a charity golf outing every year for the RIA. This year it's for benefit of Omaha Home for Boys, great local charity organization. They take at youth risk, give them a place to live, a stable place to live. They will, they'll support them clear up until adulthood, and then help get them placed into, their first apartment, things of that nature. Just a fantastic local organization. It's been around since the 1917, something like that. July 23rd, we're going to be out at Indian Creek Golf Course. Really nice course. What we're needing are golfers and sponsors. So there's a link on the website. There's also one on the Facebook page. You can scan it. There's one of those little scan thingy dingies. Yep. So so the link will take you directly to registration, whether you want to be a golfer or a sponsor. There's some great sponsorship opportunities. I mean, basically, you're going to be exposed to a bunch of property investors as a sponsor. So it's a fantastic opportunity to just kind of get your name out there. If you're looking to, do work as a contractor or whatever it might be, a lender, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of, real estate investors that are drinking. And so that's always nice, the lubrication. But we would love to have your support and your participation. It's going to be a great day. It's always a fun time. And get yourself, maybe a sponsorship booth out on one of the holes, and you get to glad hand all day and give out tchotchkes and just have a great time. So we'd appreciate your support. We'll see you all out there.
Oh yeah, we get a round of applause. Look at that. We've had events, we've done this in the past where we've completely sold it out, and we had 20, 30 people hitting us up last minute. Every year we do this. It's always like the week of the event where everybody signs up. It would be really beneficial if there's a chance that you're interested to sign up sooner than later. It really helps us out with figuring out how much food to get, because there's a lot of food that we're bringing in for this event. Also, the more golfers are in, the more intriguing it is to our sponsors to sign up. So again, if you know somebody that golfs, it's all going to a good cause. We do not keep any of the money. 100% of it is going to the charity, and they actually handle all the finances. So when you book, the money goes directly into their account. So just so you guys know, there's no second handing here. So we appreciate it, and thank you very much for that. And last but not least, we have September 3rd. We have Colin Schwartz and Jason Belt, Mastering the Market Real Estate Strategies with Colin and Jason from Levin Wealth. You're probably wondering why there's so many local guys I've been having on here speaking. And I did a survey on the Omaha RIA page, And in that survey, it says that you guys wanted to see more panels and more local speakers. So we've been doing panels, being local speakers in, and by the attendance here today for Jose, it kind of says something, doesn't it? So yeah, Jose, you bring it in, bro. I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors over here at the booth, just so you guys know who they are if you didn't get a chance to talk to them. But first off, before we get into that, I'm going to go over here to Jake. Jake with homes.com is actually our drink sponsor tonight. So you got a lot of drinks to buy here tonight. But after the event, the important thing is that we go just across the hallway. You don't have to leave the building to Burger Theory. We have the building exclusive. They keep it open late for us. Every once in a while, somebody sneaks in there, and we got to kick them out, right? But but we have fun, and we find that the best networking happens after the networking event. So if you want to find deals, get to know people, and just have a good time, that's usually where we're hanging out. And as long as people are drinking really heavily, Kelly and Jenny will keep it open for us. No matter if the drinks are flowing, you'll keep it open, right? That rhymed. So you want to tell us a little bit about your guys' companies and why you wanted to sponsor the Omaha RIA?
Yeah. Well, we're happy to buy your drinks anytime. So we have that going for us. But my name is Jake Danker. This is my colleague, Bryce Hudak. We work with CoStar Group, which is a kind of the mothership of multiple different companies. We own apartments.com, LoopNet, CoStar is the product, and now most recently homes.com. Give you a 30-second snapshot of CoStar and homes.com. Homes.com is a tool for both residential real estate buyers and then realtors. On the realtor side, we are the only platform in the United States which will always highlight your name as the listing agent. No other agents can ever skim leads off your listings, and we will then promote you that way. We have some other back-end features as far as retargeting. So if someone goes and visits your profile or even your listing, that listing or profile will then be retargeted across a number of different websites. I had a screenshot of someone here in Omaha who had themselves as a realtor. His name is Charlie Sutton at Berkshire Hathaway. Right on ESPN's homepage, as well as a house he had listed right on ESPN's homepage. So it's a super cool, intuitive platform, less spam, a lot more user-friendly, and we're just kind of trying to change the market from what it was with the Realtor.com and Zillow, make it more user-friendly on both the realtor and consumer side. On the CoStar side, CoStar is what we call the private commercial MLS. We track every single commercial property, whether it is on the market or off the market. So if someone out there is a buyer looking to buy, let's say you're looking to buy 25 to 50 unit multifamily buildings, you can pull up a list on that in CoStar within about 3 seconds. You'll get a list of every single property in Omaha or whatever city in nationwide, including UK and Canada, that fits that parameters of 25 to 50 units, and we'll have a list of every single true owner name. What we mean by true owner is it's not just the LLC that's registered to it. It means that ABC LLC that owns 1234 Douglas Street is registered to ABC LLC, whatever, but Jake Danker actually owns that property, and you'll have my info, my email, my contact, my cell phone, et cetera, direct on there. Just an intuitive way to do that. We also are really in depth with comps on both sale and rental comps and lease comps. And yeah, anything else you want to add? Over 30 seconds. Yeah, I am over 30 seconds, so I will keep going, but yeah. Any questions, come see us, and we'll be hanging out afterwards as well. So thank you guys very much for coming out.
If you don't use your services, they're going to stop buying us drinks, just so you guys know. This is Austin Compton from Orange Property Management.
I'm Austin with Orange Property Management. We are a full service property management company, from commercial to residential to Airbnb, short-term, mid-term, whatever the best use of your property is, we can manage it. We also even do some agriculture. I'm here with Emma. If you have any questions, feel free to come stop by, and happy to answer any questions you might have. Oh, we offer, what is our discount right now? I forgot. Oh, it's a first month free, no management fees. And for short-term or mid-term, our traditional pricing is 20% management fee, but RIA members get 15%.
Thank you. Thanks for being a sponsor. Yeah, I'm glad somebody's applauding here. Tom? And can you guys see him on the camera there?
I'm Tom, and this is my wife Haley Gorley. We own Momentum Exterior Services. So we specialize in window cleaning, pressure washing, house washing, and then we also have a gutter division. So seamless gutter installation and repairs. We have a 10% discount to everyone that's a RIA member. And if you have any other questions, feel free to come up, check with us.
And one of our new sponsors.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. And over here, we got Rob from JM Real Estate Capital. Rob, we probably got to go here so we can get you on camera. There you go. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Hey guys, Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. Need money? I got lots of it. Whether it's for a rehab, fix and flip, fix and hold, buy and hold, new construction, unsecured credit, no experience necessary, all 50 states, great rates. Give me a call. Number's easy. It's 844-WE-CLOSE. 844-WE-CLOSE. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. And Ben, it's definitely your time of the season, isn't it? Tell us a little bit about Safe Exit.
I'm the owner of the Safe Exit Egress Window Company. I am a gold member sponsor. I give up to $500 of a discount on services. The biggest thing difference of my window is it's an interior opening door. Sorry, window opening window. It's pretty much. It's a European tilt and turn window, so it helps with the advantage of the safetyness and the securityness, and people can actually help you in the well to actually help people get out safer and faster. So please let us know if I can help. Definitely with your BRRRR projects. You guys need egress windows with your BRRRR projects. So thank you.
Okay, and tonight's sponsor is the second sponsor we have that's a national sponsor, and it's RE Simply. And RE Simply is not locally based, but they are a large company, and it's really kind of hard to explain everything they do. So we do have a short video that we're going to play, and then we'll get going here. So.
Re-simply.
Let's rewind a little. When I started my real estate journey, there wasn't any all-in-one software for real estate investors. For every little task, you had to get a different subscription. And when it came to integrating everything and making it work, that was a whole different nightmare.
I spent thousands of dollars trying to create something that I thought would be better. And it was nothing but an absolute headache and messy and glitchy.
We set out to change that.
We wanted a unified system tailored for investors with zero integration.
And with all the tools that one can possibly need.
We created the #1 all-in-one software for real estate investors.
By real estate investors. We simply helps investors manage their data, marketing,
sales, and operation.
From humble beginnings, we've grown into a comprehensive solution for real estate investors, bit by bit.
Our goal is simple and clear.
Help investors close more deals.
We're rolling out groundbreaking features month after month.
Complete phone and SMS system.
Project management, list stacking,
Driving for dollars,
Lead management.
full accounting system. These were just the beginning.
Then we launched Drip Automation, which puts all your follow-ups on autopilot.
And Speed to Lead, which instantly connects you with motivated sellers in under 60 seconds.
And also a cold calling dialer.
Recently, we introduced more features
like buyer and seller websites,
email marketing, KPI dashboards, a central communication inbox, and real-time notifications.
We launched all these solutions in record time. Our secret, agility and speed. We find out the problems faced by investors,
Develop a solution.
and launch it fast. The results?
A never-improving system that makes your business more efficient and scalable.
And as we continue to innovate and evolve,
We invite you to join us on this journey of simplifying real estate investing with Re-simply.
where you get to work on deals and not on integrating software.
Sorry. If you want more information about them, there's a QR code there. I hate to be super sponsor heavy, but they're the reason that we are able to keep these prices to where we're at. There's some RIAs around the country that charge $250 a month for these services. We just charge the $125 for a year, just try to keep it simple. So big thank you to our sponsors for enabling us to be able to bring these lower costs to you guys. So thank you guys. We have a book giveaway that we're going to do tonight, and since there's so many people in here, Rob over there is going to pass around a bucket. And you can put your name in there or a card, whatever you want. And we'll draw it at the end of the night. But we had 2 books we're going to give away. First one's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the little mini Bible version. And the second one was a book that I personally had signed from Ashley Kerr. And we just had her on the podcast. And this one, it's all about, I don't know where my book stuff is here. Real Estate Partnerships by Tony Robinson and Ashley Kerr. So it's signed, and she specifically wrote in there just to thank you guys for being part of the RIA, and hope you get more out of it. What we do with our books is if you get a book, you read it, you'll love it. We ask that you staple your card in it, return it, and we'll give it away again. That way we can keep on sharing that content with everybody else. But that's going around, and we'll do that drawing at the end. And if you haven't checked out our podcast, it's called RIA Radio. I do that with Owen Dasher. And we've had some great people on. I don't know if you guys have listened lately, but we've had Mark Simpson. He runs Boostly out of UK, which is one of the biggest short-term booking sites. Justin Cambria, which started the real estate division for Amazon nationwide. We had Ashley Kerr, which runs the Rookie podcast for Bigger Pockets. Jeff Holst, which was our speaker here. When we had him speak, we did a live interview with him. First, there's 2 parts. First one is just kind of like banter back and forth. Second one gets more into real estate, just so you know, if you listen to one of the 2 parts. Local business owner and entrepreneur Jeremy Murray comes on tomorrow. And then Owen and I did a unique one. It's called, we just did a Ted and Owen Talk. It's the first time we didn't have a guest, and we just kind of, not that we're short, we just didn't have a guest that we were talking to, and went over the kind of state of the market and different things. So that's coming up. And so that's kind of stuff we have going on. It's released on Wednesday mornings. And if you have any, if you love what you see there, we also are on YouTube now. So we've now had 3 or 4 episodes on YouTube. You can go to RIA Radio on YouTube and check out all of our videos and all the live casts from all these events for the last, every event that we've done since 2020 is all on there, plus all the live casts are live streamed on there too. But without further ado, let's do a little introduction for the speaker tonight. I wrote up something a little special for him. Thank you for joining us here at the Omaha RIA. We're not just about properties, we're about possibilities. And tonight we have a special treat for y'all, a budding mogul and a seasoned real estate tycoons alike. We're thrilled to welcome Jose Peña, a man who's just comfortable with the computer code as he is with houses. And indeed, Jose is not your average real estate guru. He's a software engineer turned savvy investor, proving that the leap from debugging software to debugging properties isn't that far after all. I did bed bugs, but it didn't sound as really as good in there. Jose heads up Nice Casas LLC, Billator LLC, where he has been flipping, renting, and refining properties right here in Omaha, using the approach as the methodical as well as his written programs. This evening, he'll share his insight with the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. A powerful strategy popularized by David Green. It might not be as straightforward as it sounds, but with Jose's guidance, you might just start thinking it is. Furthermore, Jose will give you a sneak peek into his real estate portfolio, revealing how he, identifies these diamonds in the rough. It's kind of harder and harder right now, and transfers them into rental gems. Plus, at the end, we're getting ready for a Q&A session where you can ask me anything from spotting a good fixer-upper, maybe coding a dynamic website. Jose can likely help you with both of those. Short, quick story. When we started this RIA in 2020, we were like, we had this idea that we were talking about on a podcast, I believe. And it was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if everybody could just turn in their appraisals, and then as a group we had all the appraisal numbers pinned on a map. Well, Jose shows up to the next RIA event. He's like, hey, I created a website for this, and it didn't take off. We didn't get enough people on there, but it still exists, right? Technically, the code's there. Yeah. So yeah, maybe, but he created. I mean, that's just the guy he is. He's like, hey, I'm just gonna create this for you guys, and here he is with this website. We launched it, and I mean, you had probably about 40, 50 people put it in there, but it was great. It was a great concept. Like, hey, you got an appraisal, pop it in there, and then we can start running our own comps. But that's just who he is. So without further ado, let's give a big Omaha RIA welcome to the man who excels with both the keyboard and the key box, and our very own real estate whiz, Jose Peña.
All right. Where do we start? Well, first of all, I want to thank every one of you for taking some time today out of your day to be here. I am very, very, very excited to be sharing this with you guys. I remember being on the other side. I want to say August of 2018 is when I got before that I got the real estate bug, but whenever I came out to the public with it was in August 2018, and it was at a meetup event. If you guys are interested in real estate, you guys are in the right location. So thank you, every single one of you. I see people standing on the back. So if you guys have empty seats on your table, if you want to raise your hand so that people can take a seat, or if they want to be close to the bar, that's totally fine. I wouldn't judge them. It's all good. This is a safe space. Thank you, Ted, for the invite. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, come on, Ted. Send a 12-pack or something home. Maybe I'll think about it. It never arrived. I gave him a yes. He's just very charming. Oh, yeah. Last time, he's like, hey, Jose, thanks for willing to participate. And I'm like, Ted, am I the first Hispanic? And he's like, no, we've had someone else. I have to think about it. Let me think about it. And then I got a text in the middle of the presentation, and he's like, you're right. You are the first Hispanic. So thank you. What's that? I know. I'll give him some props for other stuff, but just not this. So yeah, I'm really, really excited because I want to see other people that look like me in this position too, because we have the talent. It's just we don't have that information as available as we do in English. And I'm not saying it's nobody's fault. It's just like nobody has taken that step until recently. And I've been able to do that with the help of several people here in the audience. So Ted as well, starting the Hispanic RIA. But we'll talk about that a little bit more here. I want to start with the introduction of who is Jose Peña, which is me. So when people ask me in front of my wife, so where are you from? My wife always rolls her eyes. She's like, I know this. He's going to give the complicated long answer, which is complicated. It is complicated, but let me see. I forgot I had a presentation. Okay, so that's me and my wife. We went to Santorini, Greece. We took a 3-week trip around Europe. It was freaking amazing. Highly recommend doing that. We'll be back at some point. Don't quote me on that, all right? I don't want any pressure. All right, let me see if I can get this to work. Boom, like a champ. So introduction. I was born in California, and I was 1 year old when I was taken down to Mexico, to the state of Sinaloa, Culiacan. And then I was over there till I graduated from elementary. It was a big achievement. And then my grandma decided at that point, because unfortunately I was taken down to Mexico when I was 1 year old because I was being taken care of by my brothers and sisters, because my mother passed away when I was months old. So then my brothers took on that responsibility, and then my dad decided at that point, hey, you know what? We'll have your grandma take care of you during your early years, right? Because it was kids taking care of kids. My brothers they would lock me up in a room and go to sleep, and just making sure that there wasn't anything on the floor that I could eat, you know. So I'm alive, thanks to God and my guardian angel that has a full-time job. But yeah, I was taken down to Mexico. I was raised over there till I was 12. And then I came to Nebraska with my grandma and my aunts, who I lived with until college. So I came back to West Point, I'm lying, Beamer, Nebraska. In case you haven't heard about that place, it's 800 people. There's more cows than people in that place. It's less people, right? Whew, 751. I mean, yeah, there's some plants that closed. IBP was there, but yeah, it's less people now. So we were in Beamer, then I transferred over to West Point, and that was my wife's lucky day. That's where she met me. I remember arriving at the gym, and I was still taking ESL classes, right? Because my English wasn't like this. All right, it was worst. And she was my tour guide at that point. I've been her tour guide ever since after that. But that day she was my tour guide. She took me around to the classes and all of that stuff, right? So we graduated together in 2007. Then we went to Wayne State College. And from there, we couldn't come directly to UNO because we just didn't have the financial means. And I think I needed one more year of English at that point. So Wayne State took me. They just take anybody. So I came to the University of Nebraska thanks to my wife that helped me fill out the Susan Buffett application. So we both got the Fulbright scholarship, which was amazing. And thank you. Those are for her for filling out the application and helping me with my essay. So we got both Fulbright scholarships. Then I got another one on top of that, and thankfully we were able to graduate from UNO without any college debt, which you know, it's amazing to be able to just walk out of there and not have that on the back of your mind, right? After that, I graduated with a software engineering degree, and I started working at Northrop. The day I got hired at Northrop, I got towed because it was a Scots, and I parked on the other side, so it was worth it, $75. I landed at Northrop Grumman, and it was a totally different environment. I mean, I know Owen has talked about getting interviewed by the FBI. So my neighbors were getting interviewed by FBI. My landlord was getting interviewed by FBI because I needed a security clearance in order to be able to work with the Department of Defense. So that was a whole different experience. But I thank God that I was placed in that place because I had a group of people around me, my managers, who were like super into professional development, right? Autonomy, mastery, and purpose. They believed in that. They believed that if you were given the right tools, the right information, the autonomy to do what you wanted to do, and the purpose behind it, you were able to succeed without micromanagement. So I was into meetups. I was into books. I led a group of like 7, 8 engineers. They were all older than me, which was weird. And it was amazing, right? Like we were excelling at that point. I was giving out presentations to like generals and the Department of Defense guys coming in, and it was amazing. It was a great experience, and because of that, that's how I got into real estate, because they didn't know it, but they sabotaged me being in software because I started reading a lot of books, and then I became a full-time investor on December of 2021. And those are some of the images of how I feel as a real estate investor once in a while. It's just like, it's a great day whenever you're at the closing table, but then the next day, if you got to go to a house and you got to take out 3 40-yard containers worth of dumpster, just trash, it sucks, right? But yeah, became a full-time investor on 2021. I was doing real estate and software for 3 years, and it was hard, right? Some very late nights. Sometimes I would come home at 11. midnight, 1 a.m., depending if we were having inspection the next day or stuff like that, right? But it was nice. And it was hard to take that leap to becoming a full-time investor, because I essentially went from having a six-figure salary to cutting out, like, okay, I'm going to be making $2,500 a month in order to be able to make this work, right? It was a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice, right? That we had to make. And my wife supported me with it. She took a sabbatical the year before. So she's kind of like, all right, we'll make it work. And she graduated with her master's too. So then, she took a year off after that. And that's how we made it work. We had a little cushion of rentals by using the BRRRR process that we're going to dig into it a little bit deeper here in a little bit. But that cushion gave me enough of a umph to be able to say, okay, we can continue to do this at a larger scale and not have that limit, that ceiling. In software, yeah, you can do great, and I can do apps, and I can do a whole bunch of stuff, but you just have to release the right freaking stuff. I wish I could have come out with Angry Birds or something like that, but I guess I was busy doing life. But yeah, it was an amazing sacrifice that we're still doing it up to this point. I haven't upped my salary, which is happening this year, I promise. So the start, I kind of broke this down. Software is still in me. So as an MVP in software, the minimum viable product. Take this idea, gather the bare minimum requirements to be able to get it out there, have people use it, and then take action and refine it as you go through. The main thing is taking action and getting something out there, right? So my idea, the presentation that I put together for my wife after reading the 4-Hour Work Week, was to do BRRRRs, right? For me, this is what triggered the light bulb, the 4-Hour Work Week. I'm like, somebody's doing this. How can I do that? It's like, this is a unicorn. I want to be able to decipher this and find out how can I do that. So I landed on this place called Bigger Pockets. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about it. And I just consumed that content like it was, I don't know, Spanish music, I guess you could say. It was fun. It was fun. I had a 30-minute drive to Bellevue and Northrop, and had a 30-minute drive back. And every day I would listen to Bigger Pockets. I did that for 6 months. And I didn't feel comfortable yet going to the meetups because I didn't know the lingo. I didn't know enough of it, that I'm like, I'm just going to stand there and just look pretty. And that wasn't sufficient, That wasn't a joke. That was true. I'm playing. I'm just not eye candy. I told myself, you will be smart about this stuff. So I consumed a lot of content. I listened to a lot of audiobooks. Thankfully, the Navy has a program that because you're a subcontractor, you're able to listen to a lot of the books for free. So I downloaded that stuff, and I was just listening to a lot of books to like plug those holes, right? Like specific things. And for example, estimating rehab costs. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Turn the Ship Around, which is mostly about giving people the tools that they need to be able to be sufficient by themselves. Managing rental properties, that was big, right? Because if we were going to go at this full throttle, we needed to be able to manage the properties that we were putting under our portfolio. And then stuff like never split the difference, because I'm out there talking with sellers, and sometimes it's hard, like you go into these places and you gotta be able to work with them to be able to help them out, and being able to break down the process and stuff like that. That's massive. So by listening to audiobooks, listening to podcasts, and all of that stuff, that gave me the feeling that yes, I can do this, and I can sell this to my wife and keep it going, right? Once I felt comfortable enough, I'm like, all right, it's time to go out there. And thankfully, I had the experience of presenting at the software meetups. So I was like this whole into agile, Colin was a scrum master. I was a scrum master. So that's why I'm like, if Colin can do it and he was a scrum master, I can do it. But I've been lacking. It's all good. Then I went to the Omaha real estate meetup, and that's where the opportunity came up, right? I'm very much about the see one, do one, and teach one, right? So when I thought about it, I'm like, see one, okay, I gotta go in front of, be with people that are doing this kind of stuff, the people that are taking action. And to me, that was going to the meetups. So then one day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it it was hard because you have to put yourself out there a little bit. Even though I was kind of used to it because I was the only Hispanic as well on, well, not the only one. It was like two of us at Northrop. You know, you got to get security clearances, and some of these people, the FBI won't go to Culiacan, Sinaloa for some of that stuff. You know, so it's harder for us to get security clearances. I built a legacy for myself and Offit. It's like every time I would go in, they'd be like, once I told them I was raised in Sinaloa, they'd be like, oh, El Chapo is coming with software. I'm like, all right, guys, I guess I didn't build a legacy. It was some other Chapo dude that did it for me, but I piggybacked on it. So yeah, it wasn't comfortable. But that day, I actually saw Irving in that meetup, and Wyatt was there. It was very memorable. I was into the gym at that point. I've always been, just not recently. But I remember Owen asked me to beat up Colin, and I told him I wouldn't do it on that place. We'd have to go across the street because then the place would be liable. But Colin didn't follow me. No, I'm playing. Owen did ask though. So it was fun being at that meetup, right? I'm like, oh, shoot, like there's a lot of people doing this kind of stuff, and there's younger people too. You know, it wasn't just older people just doing this stuff, right? Older people with money. There was some people in there that were as broke as me, or even worse, right, Irving? Yeah, thank you, Irving. So Irving gave me the motivation to keep on going. I'm playing, Irving. Love you. So after that, because I was ready to take action at those meetups, I don't know if you guys remember the guys from Miller Way, John and Josh. I remember I was talking with everybody about like, hey, I want to get started. I was this newbie investor. And then I told John, I remember I'm like, hey, John, if you ever need help walking these properties, if you feel scared or whatever, I was only like 2 inches taller than the guy. I can walk some of these properties with you. And I started going out with him on some of these properties. And then there was one, the first one, that he's like, hey man, this property doesn't really meet our numbers. It needs sweat equity. And they had their systems. They weren't willing to go in there and get dirty at that point because they had their processes set up, right? So I took it on, and ever since, it's been great. That worked like a champ. It was the perfect BRRRR for me. I was able to put this like on a pedestal. It's like winning a medal and being like, hey, it did work out, So that's why I like this kind of stuff. I enjoy this kind of stuff because a place like this got me started. So I tell my wife, it's like, if I can help one person out of this room, like get something going, that would truly change your life. It's like a 401k. It's if you buy one a year, you're going to be amazing. Plus, I know great places in Mexico that you can live for like $400 a month. I can help you set up that too. You wouldn't be as comfortable though, okay? Just lower your expectations. So to me, after knowing it was possible, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do now? All right, let's take a look at flips, because it was transactional, it was quick, it was in and out. I still had my job. Remember, for the first 3 years, I still had my job. I did a flip in Bellevue. We'll talk about the failing forward aspect in a little bit, but I was like, okay, this is transactional. This can help. I can put in and build some cushion so that when I do quit my job, then I can have that cushion. But it wasn't my priority at the start because I had a good salary, I had a good job. I'm like, no, I want to start building generational wealth. So I quickly pivoted and we went to BRRRRs. So we bought more of these properties and make them look like that so that we could provide housing for families. And it is, to me, like, it is crazy how these things fly just off the shelves in regards to like rentals, right? I got people that are hollering at us almost every other day just looking for homes. So, and thankfully, because we built that reputation with the tenants that we actually do go out with there once in a while, they keep on calling us, right? So we got into the BRRRRs because of the cash flow, the generational wealth. I always thought about, I want something that's just something that's going to keep on giving every single year. And the loan pay down, the equity, the tax benefits, all of that stuff was just great. And because of I didn't need the money at the start, I'm like, we're just going to go full in for BRRRRs. And with that, we started building a long-term rental portfolio, but then we also went into short-term rentals. So we've got a really cool place that I'm super proud of on Harney Street. It's an amazing house. It's a 7-bedroom home that we broke down into a basement unit and the upper main level. So we started exploring those, and all of our short terms and midterms have been BRRRRs, which is great, right? Like, you can make that work still. And with flips, like I said, it's transactional. I'm saying I'm doing 5 at the moment because I need the money. I don't want to be cash poor and equity rich all the time. I want to have a balance there. But we also started looking into midterm rentals. So this is another midterm rental that we created, which was also a BRRRR. It's a duplex that we bought, and it's to me, it's just the generational wealth, right? Short term, midterm, long term. If we can keep the assets, we'll try to keep them as much as possible until my wife says we need money. Then I'll start selling. And she says that quite often, but I have other gigs at nights playing. I don't. All right. We also tried construction, and mad props to the people that do construction work. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of babysitting from my perspective, like those people that I have working on projects and stuff like that. And I love clients and stuff. I'm talking with people, but whenever I do something, I kind of want to make sure it's done right. And it was just too much work for me. I was spread too thin, and I'm like, we're not gonna do construction because I did get my GC. We go into the MVP, right? So we established what it is that we want to do. BRRRRs, long-term rental portfolio. Then, okay, what are the requirements? How are we going to build this thing, right? And this is the meat and the potatoes of how to do BRRRRs, because without this, you're not going to be able to do BRRRRs as efficiently, or no, you can probably add to this and make it more efficient, of course. I'm not saying that I figured out the secret sauce. No, that's not the case. But contractors, Diana was mentioning that she's got a list of contractors that she works with, and she's ready to start this stuff. And that's, you got an edge, because contractors, you got to treat them right, you got to choose them right, and then you also got to, kind of hit it and quit it type of stuff, right? Once and I'm done type of stuff, right? Okay, so we did that, not the physical aspect, but the logical side of things. So it's super important to be able to find out how to work with them, because they're people, they're complex. One of the most complex things is working with people, and you want to make sure that they feel that they're being treated right, that they're being paid right, and all of that stuff. So I want to make sure that I'm working with people who like to work with me as well, right? Like, I want to be able to talk with these people once in a while and have a beer with them, hopefully on their dime, but it's all good. Systems. I brought in a lot of the software stuff into this thing, and I made it real estate specific. So who here has heard of Kanban? Kanban board. Boom. All right. It's like It was invented by Toyota when they were being tasked to build very specific things. Like I think it was the Lexus. They went from just having Hondas to Lexus, and that was amazing, right? Like, how can you make this more efficient, right? And I did this for BRRRRs. So every time we put a new property under contract, I basically clone all the tasks related to a previous BRRRR, and then I select, am I gonna do the roof on this one? No, I'm not. Am I gonna do the siding on this one? So I select the things that I'm not gonna do, and then boom, the tasks get created, they get put in the to-do column, and then as we start working through those, they go into in progress, right? So I'm using softwares like Jira is what I use for that. It's free, JIRA, and it's kind of cool, not kind of, it's super cool, that it integrates with Confluence, which is a wiki. So in the wiki, we're able to store information that gets used constantly, right? Like you don't want to solve the same problem 1,000 times, right? What happens when this thing, if this, then that, right? If this happens, then my wife or a personal assistant knows what to do, right? So we started building that wiki so that we have a point of reference to everything that we have on our systems, right? And it's kind of cool because, like I said, it ties into Jira. So in Jira, I'm able to upload the contractors' bids and stuff like that. So if we have different versions, I can upload different versions into the same task, and it's really cool. It has enabled me to stay sane for the most part, sleep once in a while when I'm lucky. So it's kind of nice, and we use stuff like Loom to record the videos of stuff. So like I log into Menards, I look at the receipts, I see the PO, and then I tell them that whoever's listening to the Loom what to do after that. You know, it's like, once you have this number, put it in the spreadsheet, update the numbers, so that way I can take a look at how much we're spending on a weekly basis on this specific property, right? And I can see when they're in there looking at the video and stuff like that, which is amazing too. I'm like, did you really watch it? You know? So it's kind of cool. And we use Slack for our communication. So we have like a property management channel, we have a marketing channel, and that's pretty much it. And we should create like a memes or something channel because it seems like we're lacking in that area. But yeah, the systems, super important. Underwriting. Oh man, this is where you make the money. If you buy wrong, you're screwed from the get-go, you know? So the underwriting is super important. I take a look at my calculations folder, and man, that thing is massive. All the stuff that I've looked at, it's kind of like a muscle, you know? Boom, you start building that stuff. So with the BRRRRs, it's super important that if you take a look at a property, you know that's going to be your main exit strategy, right? Sometimes it won't work as a BRRRR. So when you know it doesn't work as a BRRRR, then try it as a flip. Because then if you can get 20, 30K out of it, then that's fine. You know, that's an opportunity that if you have the time, you have the capacity, why not go for a $30,000 payday, right? But my intent is always to underwrite as a BRRRR. So I have scenarios, right? Like a flip, a BRRRR, and a wholesale scenario is usually what I do, right? And as I'm plugging in the numbers, because my numbers for the materials and the job is not going to change a lot. It's probably going to give or take $1,000 to $2,000 more if I'm doing a flip because of the higher end stuff that I'm buying. But I can calculate that, right? Like as a flip, I got to put in my realtor commission in there, my closing costs, my holding costs. For a BRRRR is the same thing, right? So as I'm putting in the numbers, I'm getting that little part updated, and I can see, okay, if I'm able to cash out and make money on the cash flow, I will do that. Even though I might be letting go of a $50,000 paycheck, I'm getting $20,000 back on the refinance, and I'm getting cash flow for a lifetime. So to me, that makes sense. Because if I can do a little bit of delayed gratification, I will do it till the wheels fall off type of stuff, right? So I've been driving the same truck for a while. People hear me coming around. It's like, People at Menards, they know when I'm coming too. It's freaking amazing. So yeah, and your BRRRRs, your purchase price, renovation, ARV, LTV, the loan to value, and your DSCR is super important, right? When you're showing this stuff to the lenders and you have the DSCR in there, they're like, you know about that? Oh, that's freaking amazing. You know, if you're able to make those calculations in there for them, like I have taxes and I have insurance, and I can see my estimated monthly payment with taxes and insurance, my PITI, you know, the whole thing, the whole shebang. And then I have the DSCR in there letting them know that this is a safe lending opportunity for them, right? If my taxes look right too, you know. Sorry. But so yeah, I break that down for them. I even put sometimes when I'm sending that over to them, I send them basically all of that information, and I send them comps as well, so that they know, like, okay, he did this work all the way up front, and then they can really quickly have a snapshot of it and make a decision if they can lend on it. And again, if it works for a BRRRR, then it most definitely works for a flip. So you have an exit strategy if they're not willing to lend or something happened in your accounting or finances at that point, right? So remember the LTV, 75%, 80% to be able to get your money out. The thing about BRRRRs is that if you can't get all your money out, then it's kind of like a speed bump, right? You will eventually run out of money with this stuff. And you will eventually have to start flipping as well to be able to accommodate for some of these properties that you're trying to hold. So you want to make sure that you're able to get your money out. Be really conservative with your ARV because the appraisals right now are suffering a little bit. So just consider that as well. Interest rates, it's making it harder and harder to cash flow, but it's still possible, still feasible. If you can get a house under 100K remodel, then you can rent it for 1,300, which should be pretty easy. You're golden. You can cash flow. You're not gonna get rich. You're not gonna have a Lambo sitting outside your your house just yet, but it will eventually pay off. So just keep that in mind. Taxes, insurance has gone up a little bit. Cash flow. Remember, if you cash flow right now, you'll cash flow like a champ whenever interest rates go down. So don't stop because you're not cash flowing like a king right now. All right, lenders. This is big, especially in the BRRRR process, right? You gotta be able to have somebody that can cash you out of this stuff, or else you're gonna have to flip it, which is not that bad. You know, it's still a payday, so it's all good. But work with your local banks. I called about, I want to say like 12 banks when I was first starting off, and like 4 people responded back saying, "Hey, you know what? We'll take a look at your stuff." So you're gonna get a lot of no's. When at the Hispanic RIA, people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, man, I was trying to work with this bank and they just said no." And I'm like, "How many others did you call?" They're like, "Well, just that one." I'm like, "That's bad. Don't do that." And then I give them a list. So you gotta knock on many doors because a lot of people will say no, but you just gotta find that one person that's gonna say yes. So it's feasible. Local banks, we're talking about Exchange Bank, Charter West, Frontier Bank, Dundee, I think has been great. So just ask around. Go into the Facebook group and then just Google, not Google, search local lenders or banks, and then or refinance, and you'll find a list of people who have done that recently and are letting you know where the rates are at. So that should give you a pretty good idea of where things are at. Hard money has been essential to our growth. I would not be able to buy as many properties as we do right now without hard money. There's some local people here. We got JM, of course, RIA sponsor, Liquid Lending, Strongco has been great. I think those are the 3 people that I've worked with before. So you will eventually need them. I hope you get to the point where you will eventually need them, because at that point, that means that you're growing. So hard money, like I said, essential. I've got, it seems like I'm probably, what is it, supporting a lot of these people on their trips or something like that, because right now I got like 6 projects on hard money. But to me, it's worth it, you know, because at the end of the day, I know the risk. I know where I'm going to come out at the end, and it's going to be on the plus side. So to me, if the numbers make sense, somebody's making money, hopefully I get a beer or something out of it, then that's fine, you know. I'm always hopeful for that beer. Hint. Okay? So hard money lenders, have someone on speed dial if you need someone, right? If an opportunity approaches and you're not ready for it, or you're not prepared for it, and you don't have hard money on available that you think that you'll need, you will lose out on that opportunity, and that opportunity will most likely go to somebody else here that has been ready for that. So just be ready. Have your things ready to go, right? Private money. This has been new to me for the last 2 years, and I'm very excited about it because there's people out there that don't know that they could be generating money instead of just keeping it under their mattress. And that's a true statement. I've picked up cash from people before, and it feels great. But then I have to deposit it, and then, yeah, the excitement goes away. But yeah, private money. Talk to a lawyer. Draft a contract. You only pay for that stuff once, and then you make it fillable. And then have people around you that can trust you, that know your hustle, your talent, whatever it is that you can provide to make stuff happen. Because once you prove that, then you have somebody on your side that can help you, and you're helping them back as well. You know, people get excited when they get their interest payment, and it's exciting to me too, because I know that they trust me, and at the same time I'm helping them out. So it's been awesome to be able to get some private money. DSCR loans. This has become super popular during the last 2 years. So I got to a point, and I don't think I had this on the failing forward part, but I got to a point where my taxes for last year, they weren't as favorable as I should have paid more taxes to be more lendable. You could say that, right? But it was a fine line, and I wasn't as lendable as the year before that. And because now I'm not a software engineer in their eyes, I'll still always be a software engineer. They weren't willing to lend me as much as I thought. So I started looking into DSCR loans, because I'm like, this ain't gonna stop me on being able to hold property, because that is my main goal: hold as much property as possible. Good property as well too, right? So I started looking into DSCR loans. I even went to the bigger pockets. They have like a lenders tab, and you can input the information that you're looking to refinance out of, and then they'll kind of let you know, hey, these are the top lenders for that. So I even contacted them, and I did work 2 refinances through them. So it was higher closing costs than expected. I'm gonna be upfront with that. It hurt to see those fees, but it's still possible. And I'm actually working right now with Irving on a couple of DSCR loans. Hopefully we can get those closed within the next month or 2. No, a month, right? On the spot. Man, a week. He just committed to this, all right? Valeria, he committed to me, okay? I'm sorry. But yeah, we're refinancing 1 duplex and a single family home, hopefully within the next month or so. So even in with today's interest rates and stuff like that, there's still stuff out there that can work. So look at DSCR loans, even because DSCR loans, essentially, sometimes they don't even ask for your taxes. They're lending on the asset and the rent. And if you have leases in place, you're good to go. You know, they'll lend on the asset, and I'm talking about like 7, well, 7.5 to like 8.5%. So those are pretty decent rates, and it's 30 years. So that helps facilitate the cash flow. Because a lot of the local banks, they only do 20 years, and that, your payment is higher. So the 30 years helps with the cash flow, and I don't care if in 30 years my tenant pays the whole 30 years, I'm totally fine, right? Nothing came out of my pocket. If I can pay beforehand, then that's better, right? And I can keep on buying real estate. It's all good to me. The debt doesn't matter to me as long as I know I got a good product and I can have tenants, and I have a lot of tenants and hopefully good products. Marketing, man, this is going a little bit slower than expected. You guys have any questions? Not yet? Okay, all right. So feel free to holler at me. Well, using the mic, please. Or Ted, you know what a chancla is? You know what a chancla is? A sandal. It's a sandal. And good man. Good man. We have a phobia as Mexicans, Hispanics, of the chancla. So Ted will throw a chancla at you if you don't get to the mic. So make sure you use the mic. All right. So we're going to talk about marketing, which is something that I'm new to because I've been doing it for a year or 2 years. 2 years. So I hired a cold caller. I got my CRM, kind of like RE Simply, similar to that. But that has been the lead funnel for us. So we've been getting deals through there, and it's been nice. It's not as consistent as I like, but I'm plugging in those holes with other relationships here locally through people that are selling or realtors or just networking at these type of events, right? So yeah, we're doing cold calling. I plan to implement direct mail pretty soon, hopefully. So I strongly recommend, if you have time in the evening, you can pull a list using ListSource or even the city. They have lists that you can download on. You can do property searches and stuff like that in there, and you can download that list, skip trace that list, get those phone numbers for those people that might be interested. You can see people that are going into free foreclosure on a daily basis. You can call them. They probably need your help, and you can get deals through that. I remember when I first started, I downloaded a list of code violations, and I got 2 duplexes out of there. It was with a gentleman that was looking to sell because he wanted to go to Nashville to live with his grandkids, close to his grandkids. He seller financed the deal. I bought the 2 duplexes, one for 45 and the other one for 75 in South Omaha. He financed the duplexes with $5,000 out of my pocket. And once I finished the renovation, that's when he got paid out. And he was happy with that. He didn't even want any payments. He's like, just finish them. Whenever you're done, refinance them. I get paid out. I take off. I'm like, my man, perfect. So marketing, anybody can do it. If you have 2 hours in your day, you can cold call, use Google Voice. You can use Google Voice. It's free. You can use Open Phone. It's like $5. And you get local numbers as well. So cold call. But first, read the book, Never Split the Difference, and then cold call. All right. So materials. I'm the kind of person that likes to think of stuff once and then not think about that stuff again as much as possible. So I built a list of materials, like for my rentals, chrome finishes. For my flips, the matte black, right? And I got Confluence, which is my wiki. So that's where I hold the list of stuff that I buy. And nickel finish, right? So whenever I'm gonna buy stuff for a specific flip, I just go in that link, boom, click it, add it to my cart, click it, add it to my cart, click it, add it to my cart. And I don't wanna think about it twice. I will plan on eventually giving my personal assistant, hey, if you find something similar for a lower price, add it to the list, and then we can compare it or something like that, and maybe give her a bonus or something if she finds something a little bit more reasonable. But I don't want to be looking into that every single time, right? I want to be able to set that up once and then just refer to it as much as possible, right?
Maybe you can just go with Ben Cat to China, and you guys can bring a whole what do they get, a container full of stuff back, and then they can save some money that way.
I know. I actually looked into that. I went into Alibaba. And my wife is like, what's this $50 out of? I'm like, I'm getting samples from China. And they were perfect. But I never pulled the trigger because there was a tax for importing goods at that point. I think Trump put something in place where we were like massively putting tariffs and stuff like that. So I'm like, I get it cheaper from Lowe's. But at this point, I need to reconsider it. Why are you adding more to my plate, Ted? Now I'm gonna have that there, and I'm not gonna sleep for like a couple of days. But yeah, it's an option. That's where I came to learn about SPC flooring, which is like more rigid than the LVT, and they have in China. They started bringing it over recently, but that was like 2 years ago when I was researching that stuff. Yeah, I can go into a rabbit hole really quick. Okay, so materials. Make it as simple as possible. Think about it once, and then let it go. Don't overthink it, because then you're at Menards chopping in the raise clearance list, and that stuff sucks. Okay, property management. So we are managing our own properties, and this is the reason. One of the reasons I caught myself. This is one of the reasons why I love my wife, because she helps me with it a ton. I'm the kind of guy that wants to do the renovation and not think about that place ever again. And she helps me with that. She's like, I'll take it from here. She does the lease renewals together with my assistant. So at night when she comes, well, not at night, but when she comes home from work, she sets up the stuff that my assistant is going to do the next day. And they basically tackle it. You know, they communicate through Slack and all of that stuff. So it's been great. I hired my assistant on February of last year. It's been a year. So ever since, it's been super helpful, right? To be able to like, hey, Lily, call OPPD and start services on this property at this time, right? And it's all through the Kanban board as well, Jira. I have her there. So whenever I buy a new property, the start OPPD, start MUD get cloned, and then she gets assigned those tasks. And then she just goes off and does that stuff, right? I just have to tell her what date, because I don't want to be charged for one more day. Like, okay, like this is the date. So that has been super helpful. We actually went from using QuickBooks, because I'm not sure if you guys invoice through QuickBooks, but they got like a 1% fee. And that gets expensive really quick. Like we were paying like $200 on a monthly basis on being able to get rental income from our tenants. So we decided to go over to Buildium, which is much more tenant specific, and it's got a better interface for tenants. And they, I think, charge like $1 or $2 for the ACH, and they also do pay near me. So if you have like people that might not have a bank account, they can go to their nearest Walmart, they can go to Walgreens, they can go to Casey's, they can go to different locations and pay their rent just using like this barcode that we provide them at the start of their lease. So it's super nice. We get a lot of, almost half and half, right? The people that pay through ACH and through Pay Near Me. So that has simplified our life a lot. I'm not picking up money from the PO box. I'm not driving around Omaha picking up money for those services. No, but it's been helping out a lot. So buildium.com, in case you guys are interested. I looked at Appfolio, but I think they need a minimum of 50 units to be able to get their services. We're not at that point just yet. What's up? Buildium.
Spell it.
BUILDIUM.com. This feels like a spelling bee contest. Remember, ESL, so don't quote me on that, all right? Thank you very much for your guys' understanding. All right. But yeah. And then also my wife taught me many, many lessons, but this one is to train your tenants because I was answering the phone at all times. And she's like, no, when we rented, it was from 8 to 5. And after that, text messages or an emergency phone number, right? And the tenants at this point are pretty good about calling us during business hours or texting us during after hours. And if it's not something urgent, I can wait till the next day. And that has simplified our life a lot. I also put my phone in do not disturb after 9:30. Oh, no, 10:30. Never mind, 9:30 for you guys. Okay. So, yeah, that helps out a lot. So, yeah, it's allowed me to focus on the growth and her to focus on having quality tenants, a quality portfolio, right? Because you want to be proud of the stuff that you do, and if you don't feel proud, then you kind of lack that to get up every day, right? So you want to be proud of the stuff that you're doing. That's a team. My wife, cold caller, and then personal assistant, and then third party. And you don't have to look much further for third party kind of people, right? Well, not people, but like CPAs, lawyers, title companies. The RIA has a lot of resources, right? I work with Franco Zachariah ESL again. Jordan has been great. And you get one free session, I think, per year. So you have the resources around you as a RIA member. So I strongly recommend, and these are the kind of resources that if you ask any rockstar investor, I think they'd be willing to give you the names, right? Not like contractors and stuff like that, but CPAs, realtors, lawyers, title companies. We can recommend those all day long. So make sure you have those in hand as well, so that whenever you're ready to go, you know who to go to. Okay. And networking, again, you want to network with as many people as possible. I always quote Ted when I get home late from these places and I'm talking with my wife about it. I'm like, Ted says the best stuff happens afterwards. Right, Ted? Yes, Ted approves. So
That's why we drink afterwards. Everything comes out. You network, you get to know each other. I mean, that's the best networking. That's what every time the deals happen.
Yes. I strongly recommend that. Emphasis on the drinking part. All right. So now build, measure, and learn growth. Like I said, this is what gets me excited. The growth part of things. It's all about building, getting the next deal. Sometimes I get like, I just take on too much. I'm a yes kind of man, so it's hard for me to say no to a deal. I've been getting better about it. If the numbers don't work, I catch myself working for free a lot, so I don't want to do that anymore because deals just sometimes don't work out the way you want them to work out if you're pushing those numbers, right? So you got to trust your numbers. So we've done about 30 plus BRRRRs as of 2018. And it's been amazing. Some of those are single family, some of those are small multi-family, and we've been able to BRRRR out of those houses, including 20 flips. It's where we're at. I actually have like 5 going on right now, which is kind of crazy. I'm still sane right now, but yeah, it's been mostly on the BRRRRs, and we want to keep that going. We want to keep finding those properties that will eventually cash flow as we hope they will, right? If we cash flow a little bit right now, that's totally fine. If I can get a $5,000 paycheck and then a property on the side, that's perfectly fine as well. That's my mentality, at least, because if I can do, 10 of those a year, that's a $50,000 salary and the loan pay down and the equity and the property and the 401k. So I'm totally fine with that. I will eventually get to the point where I get a new truck, but it's all good. Failing forward, flips. So on the flips, we've talked about, basically there's been times where I don't make any money, I work on flips. I've worked on like 3 flips where I've either broken even or lost like up to $5,000 or something like that, which is not a lot compared to other people losses, but it's because I actually had to work on them, like, install LVP flooring or go late at nights and stuff like that. So I lost more than 5K because I lost sanity, I lost peace, I lost a whole bunch of stuff, right? So in there, it's kind of like a silver lining. During one of our flips in Bellevue, that was the first flip. We got red tagged, and by red tag means the city says, no, 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 you stop right there. You gotta get licensed and insured contractors, potentially a structure engineer. That's how I built my friendship with Lamont over there. And to me, that was like, okay, this is brand new. Like, I've never gotten red tag, and it's a bad thing, by the way. So it was not one of my biggest accomplishments. And I started looking around, trying to see who can fit my budget for this flip. And essentially nobody could, because the budgets were just crazy, right? Like contractors would come in and be like, no, that $20,000 for that, and I still had to pay the plumber, the electrician, and it was way too much. So it got to the point where I hired someone that said that they were taking the test the next week, and I paid them $500. I remember we met him at La Michoacana, and famous place for contractors. Just playing. I don't want you to go there and expect contractors just sitting outside. You'll get ice cream and some other Mexican delicacies. But we met him at La Michoacana. I gave him $500, and I never saw the guy again. I'm like, okay, that's a sign. So I studied hardcore for like 3 days. Sleepless nights. I was accustomed to that, being in software, taking those tests. And I took the general contractors, GC license exam. I think it's type C. I can do remodels up to 2 units. Yeah, single family I can do, but not from the ground up. So I went, took the test, passed it, and then I was finally off there just pulling permits like a champ. I walked in that office just like, and it was amazing. It was amazing. The ladies didn't see that coming. The ladies, the secretaries. And that has helped a lot, because most of the stuff that I buy is actually code violations. Because I'm able to talk with the sellers, because they get the regular phone calls. Are you looking to sell? I'm like, hey, I'm a general contractor in your area. Are you looking to fix a couple of stuff, or are you looking to sell as is? And then they're like, oh, you can fix some of these things? And then I let them know, like, hey, it's going to be this much. And they're like, no, I don't have that money. I'm like, well, there's always the other option. And sometimes they decide to sell. So it's been great. It's gotten me the foot in the door a lot of times, and I've been able to buy a lot of property with that. So that was the failing forward, right? It was painful while I was in it, and now that I take a look at it, I'm actually grateful for the situation, because it pushed me to like become a GC. BRRRRs. So the BRRRRs, failing forward, appraisals. Oh man, when you get that call from the title company or appraiser saying, hey, this is what it appraised at, and it's not what you expect, that can be huge. It can either be a couple $1,000s, or it could be tens of thousands of dollars that you could be either leaving on the property because you're not able to refinance out of it. So appraisals, I've had to fight a couple of them, not physically, just through email, where I'm like, hey, these are my comps. I get comps from Johnny, who's a great realtor, a person too, So I get my comps from him, and I'm like, Johnny, can you help me with this, man? And he sends me, the comps that are comparable to the property that I'm doing. And I go out there with the appraiser. I meet with the appraiser. I bring the comps with me. I try to bring the comps with me during the first appraisal at the house. So I walk through the house with the appraiser. And one of the funny things is that he has told me that not a lot of people do that. And I think if you don't do that, you're missing out on even a better appraisal. And if you're able to cash out during, it can be a decision of $10,000, $20,000. So if you have the time, if you don't have the time, make the time to go there while the appraiser is walking through the property, because you could lose money. There's, I think, 2 properties where we have had to leave like 5 to 10K in it, which sucks. But if you're able to recycle your money, that's the power of the BRRRR strategy, right? If you're able to take that money back, pay off your HELOC, pay off your line of credits, pay off your private lenders, or hopefully not pay off your private lenders, extend their timeline and use that money to buy more property, right? So just be careful the way you're comping your properties. Be conservative, especially right now, because appraisers, like I said, they're a little bit more hesitant about giving those high appraisals because of the interest rates and the stuff not being as solid as before. And keep in mind about those holding costs through all of that stuff, right? Let me see where we at. And the contractors, like I said, there's been time where they've taken the money or have to pay double for a plumber to go in, do the work. It doesn't pass. They come back, they try to fix it. It doesn't pass. And then at that point, I'm spending way too much on holding costs to be relying on this guy to be able to do the work, right? So I have to go with somebody maybe a little bit more expensive, but then we get the job done. And then we're able to get that money out as fast as possible. Okay, we're going to talk about hybrid models. So midterms and short terms. In Omaha, as Ted knows, it's great during these times as a short term, but then you have to go into the hybrid model to be able to have that DSCR in case you're not being able to meet your debt. You can probably grab money from other rentals or other rental profit from the other properties, but you want to be making at least as much as you're having to pay on a monthly basis, right? So we transition some of our properties from short term to midterm as on the October, November date. So it's something that I strongly recommend you guys look at if you guys are not profiting as much. We have, for example, that property on Harney Street. We keep the basement as a midterm, and we keep the top, the main house, as a short term. And we probably will do that throughout the whole year because that property does really well. But on the other properties, a duplex that we renovated that's fully furnished is nice too. We'll probably go midterm during the winter on both units, just to be able to not have to worry about making ends meet with that payment, right? Because I don't want to be grabbing from the other properties. Okay. And then I did have a partnership last year. I partnered and we did that's where some of the bursts also came in through. So we bought quite a few small multi and single family, which we're now selling the majority of it. We decided to just do different things. And that's the thing that I'd also be cognizant about. Just make sure, with partnerships, on the commitment wise, like flips, I think are freaking great to do partnerships with because it's transactional in and out. You can very quickly say, hey, I'm going to do this for these next 3 months, and it's pretty easy to follow up with that, right? 3 months, no big deal. But on the long term, where you have long-term holds, you have property management, you have a whole bunch of other stuff to worry about. And it's just something, that you have to consider for the very, very, very long-term hold. It works out, for a lot of people, but in our case, we decided to do something a little bit different. So we're selling pretty much all of it. So if we're going to be selling a duplex, if you guys know somebody that wants to house hack, it's around 36 and T Street, great location. Let me know. All right. And this is pretty much the last slide. So we talked about the see one, do one, teach one, right? Which I'm a big proponent of. And that's why we started the Hispanic RIA. So it's been a little bit over a year since we started that, fully in Spanish, which is something that I'm very proud of, because like I said at the beginning, we're trying to get information to the people that also have the talent and have the hustle to do this kind of stuff, right? So we started that, and it's been great. It's been consistent. Well, except for this month, because I told everybody to come here. I didn't want to be alone. It worked. It worked. Yes. But we have an average of like 30 attendees, and I'm very proud to say that there's some people in that meetup that, because of either knowledge or information that we've provided, they bought rentals and stuff like that. So the goal that we had in mind to at least change one life has happened. So we'll continue to strive for more positive changes. And we've actually got donations through the members. And recently, April 30th, we had, in Spanish, it's called El Día de los Niños. April 30th, the Day of the Kids in Mexico. So in the schools, they do like piñatas and events and stuff like that. So through the members coming in and giving donations, we were able to buy a whole bunch of toys for the kids. So that was freaking amazing. And then before that, we actually bought a whole bunch of school supplies for the kids over there in Mexico. It's been nice. So yeah, that's the happiness of it all. You know, it's like if you're in the position where you can spend, and I tell people $5, you know, $5, that's not gonna, you know, mess up your day, and it's gonna change a kid's whole month over there. You know, we make toys, and once those toys break, they become other toys. So we would find a whole bunch of different stuff to play around with over there. So it's been nice. And then that's the Facebook link. If you guys want to send it to, maybe if you're a realtor and you have a Spanish-speaking investor or Spanish-speaking client that you work with, please share this information with them. The group continues to grow, and we want to continue to have more people involved. And the Do One and Teach One, I've been attending podcasts and local meetup presentations, the RIA radio, which was super nice. Yeah, I was like number 5, I think. Yeah, the audio wasn't great, but it makes it look better for my accent, I guess. It's just like, you know, it makes it flow. And the JR Insurance podcast, that was nice. Ricardo Castro, I met with them. The West O meetup, I attended that meetup. We presented. It was nice. Then the Omaha Real Estate meetup several years ago. So again, this is where a lot of people start, right? And it's up to us to be able to lend a hand if you're already doing it. And if you're not doing it, just please feel free to just ask questions, because I'm pretty sure there's several people here. I know there's several people here that would be willing to help. Just don't call after 10:30 or so. You know, just be nice, be polite, be respectful, and just be a good person overall. And that's it. That's all I have.
So we normally do Q&A, but we're a little late. So are you going to hang out?
Yeah.
So if anybody has questions, they can come grab you, or you have a drink afterwards. And
Yeah, we'll be here for a while.
Okay, cool, awesome job. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
So you give me a hard time about not having Hispanics here at the group, but yet you were one of the first people on the podcast. So come on, give me some leeway here, buddy. We'll definitely work on that. So, hey, a couple things I want to go over. First off, there's been a bucket going around for cards, and we're going to give away a book here in a few minutes. But there is a new sponsor announcement that I didn't tell you guys about, some more benefits for you guys. But just kind of give you a heads up here. We have Todd here, and Swift Public Adjusters is our newest sponsor. Todd, you here? Yeah, can you tell us real quick what you do? You want to jump mic, and then what benefits that you're providing the RIA group? Yeah, and while you're doing that, we're gonna get our cards together and get some books away too. So, guys, give a warm applause for Todd here.
Hey, thank you, everybody. I'd like to give Jose another round of applause. That guy was great. So, how many people here have heard of what a public adjuster does? Raise your hand. So, a public adjuster represents the insured when you have a disaster, whether it be in your home or your business. So, we are in commercial as well as residential real estate, and we are licensed currently in 28 states across the country. And I would encourage all of you, we've been very involved with the recovery from the tornadoes. You can go, we set up a web page on Facebook. It's called Omaha Tornado Recovery Resources. Check it out. We were out in Elkhorn this last week. We sponsored the food truck to feed all the volunteers. And I've been myself, I've had several of my friends that live out in Elkhorn and Bennington and Blair. I've been out last few days that literally had their houses destroyed. So that's where we come in. We represent the insured. We can file claims on behalf of the insured. And, you know, I hope there's no insurance agents here tonight, but they don't like to play fair sometimes. So that's where we come in. And if anybody would like any more information, we're here locally. It's called Swift Public Adjusters, and we're happy to help any of you in, if you have any friends, family, whatever has been impacted by all these storms, we're happy to help. So thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to go back here in the corner and do our book giveaway. So we got 2 books we're giving away tonight. Our first book is going to be Real Estate Partnerships by Tony Robinsons and Ashley Kerr. And then we also have the Purple Bible that's provided by JM Real Estate Capital, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. There you go, Vanna Rob. First one. Tom Gurley from Momentum. There you go. Wait, you got to come up here and decide what book you're going to want. So we have a signed copy of Real Estate Partnerships or the Purple Bible. Have you read the Purple Bible before? Okay, so I think I know which one you're going with. Okay, so what we ask is if you read it, staple your card inside there and bring it back unless that signed copy is too important to you, and you don't return it, which that generally happens too. So awesome. Okay, one more. If you got the Purple Bible already and doesn't mean anything to you, let us know. We'll repick for somebody else.
Wilfredo.
Will, 402-709-6171. Are you here? There you go. Do you have the Purple Bible, Will? Oh, buddy, your life is about to change. There you go. Thank you. Thanks, JM Real Estate Capital, for buying that book for us. Okay, so we do have an open mic up here. If you have a shout out, due to time, we don't want to go too long, but keep under 30 seconds. If you have a property that's for sale, especially off market, you got a business shout out, you need something in your business, this is your chance to jump on that mic. Looks like Hal's jumping up right now as fast as he can to run around. Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Steve Barney. I'm with Nebraska Realty, and we have a company called Small Job Handy. We flip houses, we build houses, and I'm just looking for a private money lender to kind of help us expand our operation.
We know a couple of them, so if they don't come to you, let us know. Marty, is that you coming down? We need some like fun music that we play when people come down the aisle. Can we work on that one, do you think? Okay.
I didn't get a chance to mention earlier, I am an insurance agent in the room. Oh, where'd he go?
Do you hate Todd?
He ran away. I have.
Do you hate Todd?
What?
Do you hate Todd? You said insurance agent. He says insurance agents.
I'm an
hate
insurance
me.
agent.
He said insurance agents hate me. So do you hate Todd?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
Anyway, insurance is expensive these days. I'm sure many of you noticed. If you've been looking at I encourage you to look at your insurance renewals, because it's not just the rate that's changing. You got to pay attention because your deductibles are changing, your coverages are changing. They're starting to sneak things into these renewals that you might not, if you're not reading it, you're not paying attention to it, it's gonna slip under the rug, and you're not gonna notice it until you have a claim. So pay attention to renewals. Rates, yes, are going up. And I've got a new property program that will insure rental dwellings, one upwards of 30 units, 20 to 30 units, depending on underwriting credentials. But the rates and the coverages are right. I don't mean right, but maybe 20, 30% lower than what I'm seeing on standard market rates. So if you've got a portfolio of properties and you're feeling some pain on the insurance rates, give me a shout. We're happy to shop it. It does carry a 2% wind hail deductible. So basically you're paying for your own roofs. That's the insurance companies. They don't want to pay for roofs anymore. So if you're able to kind of put a roof on yourself for less money and you want to save 20, 30% on your insurance premiums, give me a shout.
Awesome. And just so you know, Marty was actually one of the first sponsors ever of the Omaha RIA. So thank you for being a long-time gold sponsor.
Yeah, thanks. Good evening, Lamond Wilburn. First, Jose, fantastic job again, and I'll let you use my license again as well. Hey, what I want to do is let the group know that recently I acquired 2 unique properties, one in Bemis Park and one in North Omaha, so hit me up.
And I checked out your one in Bemis Park last week. That place is pretty sick.
And it's a 2-bedroom and the other's a 3.
Hi, everybody. My name's Chris. I'm with Snap House Real Estate Photography. I do photography, I do videos, I do drone. I also do 3D rendering. If anybody needs any of those services, I'm available. Feel free to reach out. I do have my info over on the table for you. All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Christina Borngruby. I'm with The Real Broker. I'm a realtor and an investor, and I also stage houses for investors and other realtors. So hit me up if you want some quirky, amazing MCM fun design for your places to make them sell faster.
What's the charge?
What's the charge? I charge $1,600 for 3 rooms, which is primary, living room, dining room, and light staging for kitchen and bathroom. And then it's like $200 more per room after that if you want more.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. With that, one thing there's a lot of new people in here, so I think that this will be more helpful than normal. But if you are a visitor or a brand new member or first-time visitor, can you guys raise your hand just so we know who you guys are? So I think there's actually more than that in this room. But a couple things that we want you to know who's around you, and then maybe there's somebody next to you that's doing what you want to do. So I'm going to ask a couple. If you do, when I do this, please raise your hand. So did anybody in the room own multifamily? Where's our multifamily investors? Okay. Where's our single family investors? Anybody do single family? Okay. And what about trailer parks? Anybody doing trailer parks? I see one hand. There's you and Brad are the only 2 people. Storage units. Anybody doing storage units? And commercial property owners. Anybody doing commercial? Yep. And where's the contractors in the rooms? Any contractors? Keep those hands. Where are the contractors looking for business? Okay, cool. Out-of-state investors. Who's investing? Iowa counts too, just so you guys know. Okay, a few of them. And where's wholesalers? Any wholesalers in the room? No, we got at least 1 or 2. Okay. And rehabbers, flippers. Anybody doing rehabs and flips? Short-term rentals. Anybody doing short terms? What about midterms? Anybody doing midterms? And this is any private money lenders in the room? Yeah. And anybody doing crowdfunding? I definitely don't do that. Land developers? How? Property managers. Where's our property managers? Where's our investment real estate agents? It's really important to know who they are. Yeah, the property hand up there. Huh? And who's familiar with 1031s or doing 1031 exchanges? A couple people. And note investors, anybody doing note investing? What about any real estate coaches in the room? You work in that category. And who's doing bird method in here? I know it's kind of everybody kind of hitting that there. Okay, cool. So get to know the people that are next to you. There's a lot of people doing everything in this room. I know for a fact we got people that haven't started, and I know that we have members that have thousands of units. So and there's everything in between, and everybody's welcome here. So that's one thing we love. Afterwards, drinks are going to be taken by homes.com. So after we leave here, go just cross the hallway. It's right behind the lobby area. And there's a full restaurant and bar in there. Everybody's welcome. Please come hang out. And it's domestic draws are going to be taken care of on the first round. And again, so thanks to homes.com for that. Our event sponsors are the REI, Simply. So definitely check that out. These sponsors are the reason we can do what we do here. And last but not least, if you guys, we've been putting a lot of effort into the podcast. We got a brand new studio down at Realty One Group. So thank you for them to host us. We got video out there. If you love what we're doing, please leave us a review, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. If Owen gets so giddy and excited like a little schoolgirl every time we hit a new record on our podcast or getting new views. So we appreciate that. And if you guys need anything from me, you guys can get a hold of me. I'm easy. My cell phone number is on pretty much everything I put out, 402-990-9976. I can be a resource to you, except my phone calls end at 5 o'clock. So just so you know, except because I do a lot of meetups. But with that, thank you so much. What a great crowd tonight. And thank you so much to the Hispanic RIA group for coming out. Appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.